Hello and welcome back to Actually Let's Talk About It with me, your host Lily, and today I will be reacting to 5 ATEEZ music videos because now we are on Catching Up with ATEEZ Part 7. Yes, y'all, we are steadily catching up with ATEEZ through their discography and through their music videos. Ironically, I am releasing all of the reactions to the music videos on Sundays. That was not planned. That is just how it is going. And then on Tuesdays and Fridays, it'll be a album or EP reaction. Again, not planned, but that is how, when I was looking back at it, it looks. And I was like, interesting. I was not trying to do synergy, but synergy found me. I like that. It's all lining up. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. But yeah, y'all, we are going to get into 5 of ATEEZ's older music videos, and the first one is going to be Wonderland, and there's going to be Utopia, the Japanese version, and then it's going to be Answer, and then Inception, and then Thanxx. We're going to get into a few today. Oh yes, and we're going to do it. We're going to get right into it. We're going to dive right in. But before we do, we're going to do our patron shout outs to our lovely patrons, and then we're going to go from there. So the first patron shout out does go out to Keisha L. And the second patron shout out does go out to Dia, or Dea, spelled D-E-A. And the third and final patron shout out does go out to Renaya Shannon. I want to thank you all so much for being patrons on the Patreon. And again, your support is so very much appreciated. And if you guys are watching this on YouTube and you have yet to subscribe, do not forget to subscribe to the channel for more reactions. But yes, without further ado, we are going to get straight into these music videos because I'm excited to see how these are going to go here. Okay, let us get into it. Oh, I see him. Look at him, you looking good. As always. Okay, and I gotta pause it here. That's unique. Okay, but like the way that you hear it when you hear their first studio album and the way that it translates in the music video, KQ Entertainment, we'll give them like little claps on that one because you know it's giving. And then you can also see like how the production value, it went up, like the budget, you could tell it increased, and I'm like, I love to see it. I love to see it. I love to see it. That's all I'm gonna say. Come on, dude, let's go. That move was smooth, I'm not gonna lie. Wow. And that was dope. And they brought the flag back. I love this. I love this. I love this. Wonderland, it was giving. It was giving. Okay, it was giving militancy, anarchy. Okay, militancy and anarchy go hand in hand. Okay, a call to action really is what it was. That's why I didn't realize, like, because I said it was a call to action. I believe in the reaction to Treasure episode final All to Action, and that's why it's called All to Action, because it starts off with a song that's literally a call to action. Okay, the way that KQ, whoever is behind this concept, the way that they are very detailed and purposeful with the words that they use, specifically in the album titling and in the song lyrics themselves. Hand claps, okay? That's all I'm gonna say. 10s all around the board. But I love that you can see the way that the budget increased for this era. And I'm like, it's beautiful. It's wonderful to see, especially when their hard work is paying off. But in terms of the storyline, like, because we did have the last EP, which was the last EP that we did for Treasure. That one was very much on the pirate storyline. And then this one seems like it's leading more towards the, I believe it's pronounced Hall ATEEZ side of things, where it's them in the dystopian world. And I'm like, ooh, and you can like feel it, especially when you saw, like, I believe it was Wooyoung, who was like, he had all the chains around him, and I'm not exactly sure what that means in terms of his character. I might need to watch more, because I do know that side of the music videos, there's also, like, for every era on ATEEZ channel, there's a playlist that has more information about every era. So from Treasure episode 1 all the way through Treasure episode final, there's like playlists for every EP and album that they do that explains the story a bit more. So I might need to watch those to understand what exactly is going on, because I did realize that, I do know that Wooyoung and San are always paired together. Even in the very first video I saw from them, Bouncy, they were together, their characters were together, and they even had a teaser with their characters together. But San was surrounded by flowers, and then I think it was Wooyoung's character, I could be wrong, could have not been him in the video, but I thought it was him, was chained in all those different chains, all elaborately. So I'm not sure what exactly that means, but it's connecting. The dots will connect eventually. But I really love this music video. I really did. It was phenomenal. It's phenomenal. That was a beautiful video. When does ATEEZ not eat? That's the real question of the matter here. Okay, when do they not eat? When do they not serve? Never. Okay, so, you know, that's all I'm gonna say. I have realized that now. I've been realized that since Bouncy, but it's just really affirming it every song and music video and album and EP I listen to from them, because damn, they really do not miss at all, ever. You know, it's just one of the side effects of greatness, I guess. You know, it's really nice. It's really wonderful to see, okay? That's all I'm saying. But that music video, it was a vibe. It was a vibe. The song, the subject matter, I already reacted to Utopia, and the past reactions that I did for the Treasure EP. So I'm gonna leave that there, but my thoughts on the song remain the same. Like it's one of their most beautiful songs, one of their more open songs. It's very much not necessarily pertaining to the storyline of that's been created for them as a group, but very much about what they, have experienced and gone through as individuals and group members and as a team. So that's why Utopia will always have a very special place in my heart, because that's one of my favorite songs from them. So that's all I'm gonna say. It was beautiful, and I like that they chose for the Japanese version of the video for it to be more focused on the performance than anything else. I really like that. That was a very good choice, because I wanted to know what the choreography will look like for that song, and it did not disappoint. And I'm also noticing that Yunho seems to be kind of like the center, or one of the main people that stick out during their performance. And I'm not sure if he actually is the center or like one of the main dancers in the group, because I know they all dance, but I'm like, he very much sticks out. And that is really cool. That's just something I picked up. That's just something I realized. But yes, now we have ATEEZ's music video for Answer. I'll see what this gonna do. Seonghwa and these vocals, sir. Wait, hold up. We gotta go back a couple of times. Hold on up. Y'all, because I think y'all saw what I just saw. Hold up. Okay, yeah, so this is definitely, answer is definitely in the pirate's point of view, because that's why it keeps, because I've noticed the music videos, how they shift when it's on the pirate storyline. It goes between times. Like, you'll see the same place in a different time, and that's how you'll know we're in the pirate storyline of the story. But here, they're not just switching times, they're actually seeing the whole ATEEZ version of themselves. And I'm like, just like they were in the Say My Name music video. And so I'm like, oh, so y'all talk? So you're very aware of each other's existence. Okay. I kind of peeped that as Say My Name, but I just wanted to be sure. So, okay, they know that they exist. Okay. I just like had to like deduce that. Like, I'm like, do they know of each other? Because I was like, are Hall ATEEZ the version of the pirates after they've been through all their trials and tribulations? Or are they a separate timeline in and of itself that the pirates sometimes overlap with? And that's what I really was wondering. This is kind of like making it seem like, you know, like they're on a separate timeline and they sometimes intermerge with one another. I could be wrong, but that's what it's seeming like here. Whoa. Okay, that's cool. Okay, because I do remember in one of the music videos where it showed, like, in one of the songs for the lyrics, it was, and I can't remember the name of the song, but I know it, but I can't remember the name of the song, okay? But y'all understand, it was the same, it was a music video for the song that had the pirate ship in it. And it kept, like, they said they kept hearing voices telling them about, like, a different time. So I'm like, so the pirates have always been able to hear Hall ATEEZ, and now they're able to meet them and see them. And I'm like, whoa, I love this. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm like, I love this. And I think that it's so genius and so amazing. And I'm just like, wow, wow, wow. Because who would have thought? Who would have thought? They're just so detailed. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm like, they're just so detailed with the way that they're doing it. And I'm just like, that is completely and utterly exciting. That is all I'm gonna say. Like, it's completely and utterly exciting. I'm like, that's a well thought out storyline. That's it. That's it, and that's all I gotta say. And what is that? What? Is somebody on to them? What does that mean? Okay, I had a feeling like, I'm like, I know I haven't heard the answer before. It's from Treasure Epilogue. Okay. I'm like, I know I haven't heard this song before, and it's from an EP I have yet to hear. So I'm like, but is somebody on to the fact that they're able to communicate with one another in different time? Oh, goodness. Okay. Oh, that's cool. 7 seasons, KQ produced, Edenary, KO original. And does it say Block B or Black B? And then it has ATEEZ. Oh, this is a cool new introduction. Okay. And this is for the Inception music video. Wow. Okay. The company was expanding. I see that. I see the KQ Entertainment. Let them know. Oh, this was during the pandemic? Oh, wow. The choreography though, come on now. What was that, Seonghwa? What were you doing? Oh, water too? Okay. It's giving Step Up. 3D, if you know, you know. That's all I'm saying. Ooh, that's a cool hairstyle on Mingy. Come on now. The stylists always be doing their job for everybody in the group. They better go ahead. Oh, this is for Zero Fever. Okay. I have yet to listen to that full album. Oh. Okay. I think I kind of get what exactly is going on with that song, because they're basically like chasing after themselves in a way. That's why he said I'm dreaming a dream every night, and then I'm living the dream. And I'm like, oh, okay, I feel what you're saying. Because that's what I'm thinking, just because of what was going on at the time that this album in particular was released. And I do know the movie Inception, and that was kind of really hard to pinpoint. I think I pinpointed it, but it's really hard to pinpoint. It was the ideas of going into dreams to escape reality. And so now that I'm remembering like that, the fact that it's called Inception and that they're talking about that, basically in Inception, like Leonardo DiCaprio was in it, and there was his character's wife. It was a job that they had where they would go into dreams and find people's innermost secrets, because when you're dreaming, but the way that some people's dream worlds were, it was so elaborate to find out the core of what they were hiding. And you had to go very, very deep into this world of the dream. But you also didn't want the person who you were in the dream of to realize that you were there and that you weren't just a figment of their imagination inside their dream world, because that could cause the world to collapse on itself, or for them to push you out of their dream. And thus you wouldn't be able to collect the information you needed to collect. And in that movie, Leonardo DiCaprio's wife's character was so into the fact that she was in a dream that her grasp on reality started to break down to where she eventually ended up dying in the real world because she thought she was in a dream and she wasn't. And so I say that to say this, for Inception, it really showed the power of your mind, how much damage you can do to yourself when you are stuck inside your own head for too long. How you can, it's easy to delude yourself into thinking that certain things aren't real because they're not, might not be going out the way that you want them to go. So when they were saying I was dreaming, like, because I was in a dream, especially what was going on at the time in the world in 2020, and the video was kind of released around July-esque of 2020, it felt like a dream. Okay, like 2020 did not feel real. Even 2021, it still did not feel real because that was a year of the pandemic. Everything that's happened since COVID-19 has not felt real at all. I'm like, it just didn't, like, all the craziness that happened in 2020, especially when I was living, like, because I'm living in the States, y'all, the complete and utter insanity that was going on in my country in 2020 alone, like, that was just for us here. And the way that it was going on from the government, okay, it felt like we was in a freaking Inception. That's what it felt like. That's what it felt like. Okay, in the United States, that's what it felt like. Just seeing it, and the way that the governments were reacting, the way that the leadership was not leading, the way that we were short on things, the way that the hospital staff was overwhelmed because they had sent all of our supplies and didn't think that we would need them at home. The panic and the hysteria of that. And, you know, and then on top of all of that, you have, because unfortunately the United States is one of those countries that's built on the institution of oppression, whether it be indigenous people or black people, and then later other people of color. And so you had issues of oppression and systemic oppression and racism coming up in that same year while we were battling a virus that was literally did not have a cure, still doesn't have a cure, didn't even have a vaccine back then. And then you had the jumps and the climbs of police brutality. And then we had the largest protest that I think I've ever seen in my lifetime happening in the United States in 2020. And it just all felt completely and utterly unreal. Especially, I know for me, it just felt like every day it was just something else. And it was a lot going on. So I'm like, when I seen ATEEZ making that video, when I seen the title, when I saw how around that time that it was happening, what was going on in the world, yeah, it just felt like it was a time where, for young people especially, because I know that every member of ATEEZ is younger than me. I'm older than them by a few years, or yeah, a few years, really, just a few years, not that much older, but they're younger than me. So how that must have felt, especially because their job is entertainment, to be isolated. And even BTS mentioned how hard the pandemic was for them, because you didn't expect that your career, your profession that you're in, and the ability to see people that you love, which they love their fans, for that to be cut off. You can't travel. There was a travel ban. You couldn't go places. You couldn't shop in certain cases. We had curfew. We had a nationwide curfew up until I think the latter end of 2020, because that's how it was. That's how limited resources were. That's how sparse things were. It was a lot. And the way it affected young people especially, we're still seeing the ripple effects of that to this day. And so 2020 was very much a year where it just really didn't feel like all of this craziness could actually be happening. It felt like multiple years. Okay, that's how 2020 felt to me. It felt like multiple years. It just felt long. Like it was longer than 12 months. It was longer than 365 days. It just felt like so much happened in that year that it couldn't have possibly just been a year. That's how it felt. And so I'm glad that they made that song during the time that they made it, because, and I might have been rambling a little bit, y'all, but just, when I was really thinking about what they just said and what I just watched, I was like, Oh yeah, like the self-analyzation that you went through during the pandemic is something that people are still going through today. They're still recovering from all the things that they were thinking about in that time and how it affected and it changed you and it made you, you know, better in some ways. Could have made some people worse. We don't know how people feeling. But, you know, it was a time, especially for young people. It was just a time to really find out more about yourself. And, you know, yeah. But that's all I got to say about that. But it just really brought up some things. That's all I'm going to say, especially around the time period that it came out for Inception. Like, I really felt ATEEZ on that. I don't know if it had anything to do with the storyline per se, but it definitely has something to do with the time, because 2020 was a time. That's all I'm gonna say. But now we're gonna get into the Thanxx music video. Y'all, I heard about this music video. That's all I'm gonna say. I heard about the music video. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. I heard about it. We gonna see 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 it. But I love this new intro that they got here. This is cute. Okay, we gonna stop it here. Okay, I see Hongjoon's hair. Oh, okay, I see how. Yeah. Okay, like I thought it would be worse because I did hear about Hongjoon's hair in this era. And for this music video specifically, and I do know that KQ and Hongjoon himself did issue an apology. And you know, like I'm an ARMY, so okay, I remember, like, even though I wasn't around in BTS's earlier days, I remember the pictures from my biases. My bias is RM, y'all. So I'm like, I remember them earlier pictures. I'm like, but we know better, we do better, okay? So they got educated a little bit on what not to do in regards to that, the hairstyle situation, and we're gonna leave it there. I thought it would be worse, because I'm like, the way I was hearing it, I was like, is it crazily? Like it's crazy, like it's blatantly obvious, but this, I'm just wondering what's going on with his head. That's all. Like, I'm just wondering what's going on with the hair, because it's not exactly how I know it should look. But yeah, it's kind of, you know, it's giving what they said, what people called it out for giving. So yeah, but I'm glad that KQ and Hongjoon did address the situation and they owned up to it. And I love how they was honest about it. They said we would change it, but you know, we ain't got the money like that. And I was like, when I saw that apology, because I like read about it before, and someone in my comments from my earlier portions of ATEEZ did mention this video, and they said there was that instance, and I'm like, so I was preparing for a crazier hairstyle than this. So this is very mild. It still is that what people said it was, but they know better, and they have not done it since. So you know, that is a step in the right direction. But I see. You know, I see. We don't still see the music video though. That's for sure. Okay, fine. Okay, your song, you gotta go ahead with the moves. Oh, up close. Okay. I still don't know. Oh, we got women dancers. Come on now. Let me see. Okay, that's a cute little vibe on him. Okay. Well, y'all got a cute vibe going on there. That's all I'm gonna say. Hold on, I gotta look at how, like, hold on, like, oh, sorry, y'all, like, I gotta look at how this was done. Okay, like, oh, okay, okay, yep, I get it. Wonderful song, wonderful video, but that, yeah, the stylist, they did him dirty a little bit. They did him a little wrong. That's all I'm gonna say. They did him dirty. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm like, yeah, because it's kind of more obvious now. It wasn't as obvious in the beginning, but it's very obvious now. Yes, y'all. Oh, goodness. Yeah. They got matching pants. Okay, they got a Fast and Furious vibe kind of going on. This is definitely the pirate storyline. I feel it. Oh, Dia de los Muertos? Is that what that's supposed to represent? I feel it a little bit. That's what it's reminding me of. It might not be what it's supposed to represent, but it's kind of reminding me of that. And then the setting before was kind of reminding me of, I'm not sure, because it looks like it's a fusion. Like some of the concepts for the sets in this particular music video do look like they're going through different time periods and different locations. And it was giving kind of like an infusion. It was giving kind of partially Indian culture in terms of the draperies that I was seeing in the back, and a little bit of Middle Eastern or Arabic culture / West Asian. There's multiple words to describe the Middle East, but those are the three that I think of. So okay, like it's kind of giving a little bit. They're like hopping around, but this is definitely giving the pirate storyline. So this is interesting. Okay. With the pirate ship in the back flying. Oh, that's dope. Okay, I knew they were going to talk about the pirate ship in the back flying with different flags. Okay. Okay, like y'all, that video, I liked the video. I love the video because I get what the point was, and I like the context of the songs as well, because that song was bumping. It was bumping. I'm really loving that. I'm really loving that. The only thing that stood out, it was giving Hongshu's hair. Like that stood out for me as a black person, because I was just like, it was an instance of cultural appropriation, but as I mentioned earlier, he did apologize, and the company apologized, which is a lot more than what other groups who have done the same thing have done. I think ATEEZ and BTS are the only people that I really remember owning anything and apologizing and making steps to make sure the situation doesn't happen again. And that's why they're the two main groups that I'd be messing with. Because, yeah, we can go all day about the cultural appropriation in K-pop. We can go all day, and how they'll like try to justify it under the guise of cultural appreciation, but it's a lot more complicated, specifically for, and then it's not just because it's a Black hairstyle, it's because as well for African Americans, because Black is the race of any person who has sub-Saharan African descent. That means whether you're from the continent of Africa, whether you're from South America and you have African ties, sub-Saharan African ties, whether you're from the Caribbean islands and you have, again, sub-Saharan African ties, or whether you're from the North America or Asia, anywhere in the world, you could be racially categorized as Black when you have enough sub-Saharan African ancestry. And so that is Black as a race. But within the entire umbrella of being racially Black is the ethnic groups of that particular race. Just like, and it's a lot of ethnic groups. If you're from the continent of Africa, it'll be a tribe. And that's your ethnic group, like Igbo people, Yoruba people, that's their ethnicity. Even though racially they could be categorized as Black, ethnically, they're various things. For me, my ethnicity is African American because that's the culture I was brought up in. And that's the culture of my family. So, and if you were like from South America, you were Black, you would be Afro-Latino. That is your ethnicity because that's the culture you grew up in. You know what I'm saying? So, or another variation of it. Some people say Dominican, some people say Mexican. That is their ethnicity. That, that's it. So for African Americans, especially because of the way in which our hair is criminalized, unfortunately to this day, in certain locations in the United States, especially the South, where racial animosity is still very apparent and blatant in the laws, especially in the workplace, we couldn't have our hair like that. In certain places, I can only have my hair like that because I live in California. This is why I can still have my hair like this. And the Crown Act is in place in California. That means that you cannot tell me that I can't have my hair like this because it's part of my culture. But in other places in the United States, even though it's a part of our culture as African Americans, your boss can literally tell you, you can't wear your hair like that. You have to cut your locks. These are not locks. These are faux locks. They're not real. I can take them out, like that. But some people actually have it to where this is their hair. So if they were to unlock their hair, and it's a spiritual journey for us as African American people as well, where we have locks in our hair. It's a spiritual process and it's rooted in African spirituality as well. So cutting locks is very much a personal decision, and you don't want to have to be forced to do that by your employer. But thus is the way it is in Western countries. So there's that. That is why you see specifically not just Black K-pop fans, but African American K-pop fans can get very triggered by when we see our faves doing instances of cultural appropriation, specifically with their hairstyles, because it just reminds us of the fact that the way that Black culture is, because unfortunately Black culture is pop culture. So the way that we speak even is becoming a very hot topic, in that people are using the way we speak, which is African American vernacular English, incorrectly. And there's just that. So I'm I want people to understand the way that, specifically, I can only speak for African American people because I don't want to be speaking for all Black people. I can speak for myself as an African American person, is that there are certain things that are really important to us because they're basically the foundations that we had to create, that our forefathers had to create after they were forcefully brought to the United States against their will, and were stripped of everything that they knew when they were forced over here, and had to create their own semblance of culture again, building from the ground up. And it still is facing a lot of attack from certain racist people. So when, for me, I'm just it don't look right, and I laugh it off. But for other African American people who are more affected by these issues because I've never been denied a job because of my hair. But there are Black people who have. And it hits deeper when they see things like this than it would for me. And we have to acknowledge that. I don't know, like, we have to acknowledge how that would make somebody feel who's been victimized for their hair, who has been literally fired or told that they have to cut their hair or been discriminated against because their hair made them look suspicious at a traffic stop, or the police stopped them because they fit a description because of their hair. Like, you have to think about those things. And when you think about it that way, like, of course, KQ Entertainment and Hongjun did, then you understand why they gave the apology that they gave and why it's so important. And I'm like, kudos to them, because some people wouldn't get it. Some people wouldn't be able to understand the depths that it would take. And I'm very mildly explaining it. It goes a lot deeper than that, but this is like surface level stuff. But yeah, so that's why I was really happy that he apologized and happy that they fired the stylist as well, because the stylist should have known better. Like, you're the person who's in charge of researching styles for the concept. Why would you present this one? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, especially because the artist is trusting you, but still, you know, the artist has to do their own research as well. So there's that as well. That's why he had to apologize, and the company had to apologize for allowing the situation to happen as a whole. It's just really a big deal that they did. A really big deal that they did, and it's never happened again. So I'm like, it's a win. But outside of that and my little spiel about the hairstyles, this one is really good in that it's like, you have a saying in the community, the Black community, I'm like, thanks for your opinion, but nobody asked for it. And, but thank you, but nobody asked. And that's exactly the energy that this song is giving. Thank you for your opinion about us, but nobody asked. Nobody asked. If you don't like the way I'm doing something, don't look. Okay? If you don't like the way I'm talking, don't listen. If you don't like the way I'm dressing, you can go the other way. The door? And don't let the door hit you. What a good Lord splits you. With all due disrespect, because I'm like, nobody asked for your opinion and you gave it. So if I give a response that you don't like, then you'll know how it feels. Okay? So I'm just like, you know, that's kind of like the energy that I was getting from this song. It's like, thank you, but no thank you. With all due disrespect as well. That's how I felt it was like. I was like, And then it was also giving pirate storylines still. So we get to see the pirates give it just really rebellious energy. And I'm like, yes, we love to see it for them. But yeah, that is my reaction to these 5 music videos, y'all. Like, they was good. Okay, Thanxx was still popping. Okay, Inception was popping. Okay, especially with the water scene. Okay, Answer was popping because the two worlds were colliding. Utopia, because of course choreography is gonna give every time. And Wonderland, because Seonghwa really stole it from everybody. He was really out here giving visual. Like, I'm just now noticing how fine Seonghwa is, because I knew he was, but I'm just like, it's really been in your face for the last 5 music videos. I'm like, oh wow. And then also I'm realizing that Yunho is centered. Like, he's really in the choreography. Like, when you see them in the choreography, you really see him. And I don't know if he's because he's the tallest, but I just really think it's just because he really be dancing. Everybody be dancing, but like, he just stands out to me for some reason. I don't know if that's on purpose and that's how the choreography is, or if it's just a him thing. I don't know. And also Son, vocally, that man and Seonghwa really are standing out to me lately, like in the last 5 music videos I watched. And last but not least, Hongjun is eaten up every time. Every music video he was eaten. Even in this one, outside of the hair, he was eaten. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. Okay, and Mingi, that man is not my bias. Him and Son are not tied for my bias in this group for no reason. That's all I'm gonna say. His raps really be giving life. Okay, we're not gonna forget Yosan. Yosan is like really, really beautiful and handsome at the same time. And I do not know how to feel, y'all. That's all I'm gonna say. Like, he's really visually stunning and handsome at the same time. Like, he's beautiful, but he's handsome. I'm like, oh, he got a look about him, okay? He got a look about him. And then, of course, Jungkook, I mean, that man, he be dancing. Like, I saw a few things where people were like, where like some people were saying some crazy things. I'm like, that man be dancing and he be singing. And he be giving, and I can't say too much about him, like how attractive he is, too much, because he is my younger sister's age. And I'm like, I don't be talking like that about the 2000s kids, okay? I don't no, okay? I am older than him. I'm like, I ain't gonna be talking too much on somebody born at the same year as my sister. We ain't gonna do that. I can't do that. Like, I can't do that. Like, he is very attractive, very handsome. Okay, Jungkook know what he brings to the table. And I've noticed, like, he has an air of maturity about him. Even before I started watching their, like, variety shows for ATEEZ, there's just something about him that gives very mature vibes, even though he is the youngest. And I'm just like, that is amazing. Okay, that is amazing. We ain't gonna forget Woo-young, because that man, there's not a look he can't pull off. There's not a dance he can't do. And there is not a vocal he can't perform. I rest my case. But for real, like, everybody in the entire group is just an all-rounder. I mean, it really just speaks to you. Like, it really, really, really does. And I'm like, did I mention everybody? Hold on. Like, did I mention everybody? Okay, so I mentioned Yosan, I mentioned Shizan, I mentioned Mingi, I mentioned Jungkook, I mentioned Yunho, Seonghwa, Hongjoon, Woo-young. Yep, I mentioned everyone. Okay, I gotta give everybody their kudos, because these 5 videos, you can see how much the budget increased every video. So I'm like, because we're in the 2020 era for music videos now. So they getting it. It's getting. Okay, like, I'm happy for them because they deserve. But yeah, y'all, this was just amazing. I'm like, I would be so happy. But yeah, y'all, that's my reaction to these 5 music videos from ATEEZ, and I'm really hoping this video isn't too long. And on Patreon it might be, but I might shorten it for YouTube, because it does seem like this video is going pretty lengthy. It's gonna be over an hour, I believe. So yeah. But that is my reaction to these 5 music videos from ATEEZ. I think my favorite one, though, is a tie between Wonderland and I think Answer, just because they get to meet the 2 storylines converge in that one for Answer. That's what's so interesting. But Wonderland and Answer, for me, are tied for the top, like, my favorite music videos out of these 5. So yeah, y'all. But that is the reaction to those music videos by ATEEZ. And I will be back with more reactions from them relatively soon, y'all. And if you have stayed until the end of this video, I'm not sure how long it'll be on YouTube. But if it is lengthy, thank y'all so much for watching. And if you're watching this video on YouTube as well, do not forget to subscribe to the channel if you have made it all the way to the end and you have not yet subscribed. And if you are subscribed, thank you so much for being a subscriber. And if you're watching this video on Patreon, I want to thank you so much for being a patron once again. And your support is so very much appreciated. And y'all, I will be back with another ATEEZ reaction relatively soon, y'all. And until the next video, bye.